Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, just getting ready to get on the bus, and in my mind said, you know what, let's walk. Follow the spirit, just like I always tell y'all, just roll. So that's what I'm doing, walking back, or at least walking to a certain point, and then I'll catch the bus if I see it, maybe, but figured I'll walk for now. Had a nice outing in Hollywood, man. Walking down Vine Street, actually, that's not Boulevard at all. Vine Street. And, you know, just seeing some old stuff, going to the last little nook and cranny of Hollywood that I hadn't been to. I don't think it's too many in that circumference that I didn't go down this last month. But, you know, I made a peaceful day out of it. And, man, the onions smell good. I don't know what restaurant that is, but that smells really good. I don't know where the onions is coming from, but sometimes onions grilled the right way can really give off an amazing aroma, and that is exactly what that did. I don't see any restaurants around here that would come from. I was wondering if it came from the homeless encampment back there, to be honest with you. But yeah, man, just following my first mind. Said walk, let's walk. You know, maybe it's a good exercise, maybe something would happen on the bus, I don't know, but I follow that spirit. When it tells me to move, I move. I walked all the way from Vine all the way down to where the pavilions is, probably about 11 blocks, 12 blocks down Vine while you guys were watching. Walked all the way back. And so I'm guessing that's the exercise the Lord wanted me to have. I ain't complaining about it. It's only about 4 o'clock, probably something like that right now. No Laker game tonight. So figured I'd just take this walk. I don't think I want to do my squats today, even though I haven't done them in a couple of days. But this will be my exercise, so I'm doing all right. Would you believe me if I told you the Spirit told me to grow this? Would you believe me if I told you? I was meditating and my hands did one of these, and I didn't have my face with anything on it. There was no facial hair on my face at the time, and I just kind of went with it. It's like I went like this as I was meditating, and so maybe it's a better look for me. I don't know. I usually like the pictures I look like this, but I often don't like my mustache too much. But it looks all right like this. Not too much bigger, no fuller than this though. But unfortunately, I can't grow this yet. They're still coming in. For somebody like myself who's at this age, still got facial hair growing in, it's kind of weird, man. You would think all of that would be done by the time you're in your 50s, 40s, 30s. But nah, for some of us, can't even grow a full beard. Still can't. Don't know what that is, what that's about, but it is what it is, man. So maybe this will come in and I can start having the whole full goatee. I don't know what they call that, mustache goatee combination thingy, but for now it's only bit going this way, a bit. So yeah, man, not a bad trip home on the train. There was a dude on there. I was standing in the area where they put the handicap sticker, where you can kind of have like a long area to stand. This dude came, stood right next to me, started doing pull-ups and talking to himself and listening to music that wasn't in his ear. I was like, let me give this boy a few steps. And then there was this European girl and her dude, and she kept looking at me. I guess she was attracted to me, but the dude was right there. I'm like, stop flirting with me in front of your man. Like, Jesus Christ, that's not the good energy. Maybe I misread it. I never ever think that there's a chance. There's no chance I misread stuff like that, because some men, we tend to misread stuff like that, but I don't think so. She was very much trying to get my attention. I'm like, what you want me to do? Talk to you in front of this dude? No, it's not gonna happen. So I'm just wired differently. It might have been his sister for all I know, but that's not happening. But yeah, that's how that went. And so it was a nice trip home. Still don't see a whole lot of Halloween energy. I don't know where the Halloween people are at. Like, even in Hollywood now, over here, where are the costumes? Like, this is one of them holidays where I can tell you I've only seen a few people dress up. Most human beings out here are not dressed up right now. There's a guy with a mask on, or whether his face painted, but like, he's one of the few ones I've seen, man. Ain't too many out here. I don't know where they at. Maybe it's just too early. But even as kids in school, they not dressed up. Like, it's weird, to be honest with you. And mind you, I ain't been going out these last couple years on Halloween. Usually I was in isolation doing my thing in the isolated space. So a lot of times Halloween would come and go for me. I'd be in the house smoking weed, making content, doing art or whatever. But this year, I'm on this side of town and I don't see nobody really dressed up. And I'm like, what happened to Halloween? What happened to Halloween? But I imagine there's gonna be parties tonight. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people dressing up in situations outside of this city. But LA, I'm telling y'all, man, it's almost eerie how little Halloween festivity stuff I'm seeing right now. And I grew up in Hollywood. I know that people be dressed up this early in the afternoon. They already be in Hollywood with their outfits on. They weren't there. They were not there. So I don't know. And even now I'm looking at people who ain't dressed up, like just on the streets, nothing. But I'm fitting that bill because I don't dress up for Halloween. I haven't done it in a long time, but I don't really be around people, so I'm not opposed to it. Oh, that dollar that I found on earlier, there was a lady in a wheelchair asked me if I had 50 cents or $1 to give her. I reached in my pocket and there it was. I told her, I was like, I just found this on the street. I'm guessing it was meant for you. So I just gave it to her, you know. I found it, handed it to her. I wasn't gonna do nothing with it, you know. So yeah, man, just how that goes. So I tell y'all, money don't mean nothing to me. It really don't. If I didn't need it, I wouldn't want it. It ain't like I'm on a money chase like most people are. Let me hurry up and get to the money. I just don't care that much. I'd rather walk down the street and go back to places I used to go and have a good day where I'm not thinking about none of that stress. That's good living for me. Honestly, not all that money chasing, doing what I hate to do, but at least it pays me. I look at that money, that don't take back none of the time that I wasted doing the thing that I hate doing. It didn't give me that. Especially when I know it can be taken from me, it can be embezzled from others. Stock market's rigged, full of, you know, trillions of dollars stolen from that. It's like, why am I working so hard at doing something I hate so much just so I can get this portion? You got people making hundreds of millions of dollars to shoot a basketball around. I don't care for money. I'm telling y'all that. It's probably why I don't have any. I never bought into it. I just didn't understand. It's not that I didn't understand the concept. Of course, I love buying things. You know, people like buying things. But I live without buying things. You know, things are priced at weird prices half the damn time. You're gonna buy them shoes for $200. You put those same shoes on at $50 for somewhere else. It's like, because I look at pricing that way, it's like, I don't know. There's something wrong with my brain when it comes to getting money. I don't care for it. It's because I see so many people prioritize it so much over everything else. People prioritize money over the loved ones in their life, over, you know, people will shoot you in the head over some damn money, throw their grandmama down some stairs over some damn money. It's like, that's why I don't like this stuff. And that's why I don't really have a passion for chasing it like y'all do. I just don't care. You know? Granted, I probably should. I don't think you should take it as far as I do. But I really don't care for money. The root of all evil is exactly that. That's exactly how I look at it. And business and all that stuff is rigged, man. Most of it is rigged. People are not paying each other properly so they can stash more of it in their pockets. Why? Because they value it over treating people properly. They value it over what's good for their last name. It's just, I don't know, man. Don't be like me. That's what I tell you. Don't be like me. Chase your money, man. Because otherwise you'll be in poverty thinking like me. Don't do it. Work, get what's yours, do what you do, save it, learn how to manage it, do your stock options, whatever you're gonna do, buy your bonds and just whatever you're gonna do. Do not follow me when it comes to this. I don't have that right. I just have a mental health disorder, and that is one of the things it's applied to. Nothing I hate more than the money chase in life. Working, selling things, all of it. It's brand repellent. Always has been. I don't know why that is. I don't think I've ever sold really much of anything in this life. Even stuff that I'm supposed to sell, like clothing and stuff when it's time to leave somewhere, I don't sell it. I try, but If it don't work out the first try, I'm done. Give things away. I move that way. I don't know why. I think it's just, I do believe it's just the rejecting of the culture that's in place for this world to spin around. I think I literally reject it, you know? Even people that I love very much, I see them going after the money. I appreciate the money they give me for sure. But like going after my own, I'm always in misery trying to do whatever I need to do to make money. It's always just the worst thing in the world to me. Going to work, I hate all of it. I hate everything about it. Having to rob somebody, the whole thing feels off. Feels like it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Even though everybody tells me that's what we're supposed to do and you can't survive unless you do it, I still feel like it's almost like I'm disrespecting God and I know something that everybody else doesn't or something like that. That's kind of how it feels. Same thing about going to school when I was a kid. Didn't quite look at it that way, but it's like I wasn't going. I'm not going to your human training courses. You're not going to mess up my rhythm of the spirit by teaching me how to value things that you select for me to learn. Social studies. What's the real stuff? I pledge allegiance to the flag of colonizers and Zionism. Like, these are things that in my mind I always had in the back of my mind, just didn't know how to explain it. It just didn't feel right. It didn't align with the spirit. And it's because he wanted me to be this way, apparently. He wanted it to tumble forward for me to be this exact person in this exact way, walking down this exact street. With this mentality, I'm able to give you all that I give you on this channel. And so I guess that's why. And for some reason, I always thought I would end up rich anyway. Still do. Before I die, I'll probably have more money than I want. I don't know why I've always thought that too. It's like I never really needed to chase it. It was always coming at some point. And as long as I didn't chase it, I was on the path to getting it maybe. I don't know. I don't try to make it make sense. If anything, I just justify not wanting to go after it. That's probably what it is. But now that I've gotten older, it's like when I need a job, I still can't snap out of that. That's where the mental health issue comes in. Like I can't. Even though I want to, it's like, nah. Even now, the most reasonable thing for me to do is find myself at work 24/7 or work a 14-hour-a-day job. If I would have been doing that since I was on this side of town, I'd have been out of the situation. I didn't want to waste my time doing that. I did not. And that's how I looked at it. But you can get money doing it. No, I can waste time doing it. Money is just what comes with wasting my time. And it's like that equates to me for some reason. I got that some weird way. It's kind of off, I guess I am. But nevertheless, I'm walking past all these places of business. I probably could get a job in most of these places with my gift of gab and the way I present myself. I'm pretty sure I can get any little job. And I do not want it. And I probably should seek more therapy for that, given that I'm walking back to a hotel where I live until tomorrow. Or actually, Saturday. Saturday is the day I got to check out. Not tomorrow, Saturday. And then as I go for Saturday, hopefully we can have some things in place for me to get money from the government, which is still weird. Like, why don't I reject that? Because it's not wasting my time, I suppose. I think that's how that works. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I am kind of tired of being in poverty, but not nearly as tired as I am of working a security job, believe it or not. No. Not nearly as tired as I am of that. Like I said, don't be like me on that one. You can follow me on other stuff, but when it comes to my money ideals, you won't make it far doing that. You won't make it far. That's the problem. It's set up for you not to. And I'm sure all of y'all know that. Everybody knows that. But nevertheless, I'm still in a space where I can wash my behind. Thank God for my family. Wash, my clothing. Somehow I come up with what I need. I don't know how that works. But God makes a way. And I'm still extremely productive. Cell phone stays on somehow. When I look back on all of this someday, when all of these problems are over, I'm going to really wonder how the hell this worked out. It's only God, man. Because some of the stuff that I'm going through right now, because I'm in it, I don't really look at how amazingly great things worked out as opposed to how they could have teetered another way. But things could have teetered the other way so many times in this situation. And they haven't. And I know it's because I'm a believer in God and trying to follow his purpose. But even so, I think there are a lot of people who are believers in God trying to follow his purpose and things wouldn't work out like this. So, just thankful, I guess. Thankful. And hopefully that my purpose is great enough for all of this to have made sense. You know, rather than me just throwing my life away in some random moment because I get into a fight with somebody or something like, you know, that would be a waste after all the blessings that I've received. But that's just what it is. You think about those type of things, man. Dude that stood next to me today, trying to do pull-ups. If I had a different mindset, probably would have gotten a fight with that dude. Like, just, these are the type of things that people try to provoke you into just by doing the little stuff that they prone to do. I was listening to somebody talk about that. I don't remember who I was speaking to or what I was listening to, but they were essentially saying the energy that you attract can often get you into trouble that you find. You may not be looking for that trouble, but you're prone to be a negative person or you're prone to do negative stuff. So therefore, you're going to get the negative reaction that come with that. And it's like a lot of times people have to overlook what it is that you do that makes you a weapon against others in order to be friends with you or in order to do business with you. Or it's almost like the only way they're going to be able to interact with you is if they are willing to be in a conflict with you, because that's the only way you know how to operate. Some people really like that. They don't know how not to make themselves unlikable. Oh, they're going to do stuff that alienates people so much that the only people that actually be around them are people who don't react poorly to that behavior as they're being stepped all over or what have you. You know, I'm fortunate enough to be raised by somebody who didn't have that trait. You know what I mean? Fortunate to be raised by somebody who was actually the opposite. My mother, she gave me energy that usually gets along with people very well or knows how to put my ego aside so that I can avoid certain circumstances. Stepping to the side, letting that man have his space instead of keeping my space and letting him bump me so I can fight him. Just, you know, that type of stuff. In the circumstances I'm in, a lot of people would have wanted to fight just to get those aggressions out. Some of the aggressions or some of the frustrations I've been through over the last 3 months, I know there are certain people out there who would want to crash out just to get out of these circumstances. They would want to beat somebody up just to take that out on them. They would want to get into a fist fight of some sort just so that aggression could leave. And mine is not like, I'm not wired like that. I want to meditate. I still want to do good things toward others and give somebody $1 if I find it on the street, even though I don't have a lot of money myself. Like, these are things I'm just wired to do. And because of it, I think I'm still alive. And I'm pretty sure that people out here who are going through what I'm going through, they wouldn't survive very long. Because of their aggression, their frustration, their anger, and their hatred. They just wouldn't make it. And so I'm thankful that my mother put that in me to just care for people and not really care too much for money. That's another thing. In the situation I'm in, there's a lot of people who've been selling drugs by now, shooting the people, robbing them, whatever the case. You know, robbing banks. Never even, it's not in me. Not in me at all. Those are not my thoughts. That's not how I find my solution. Get in drugs, you know what I mean? Start taking the drugs. Just to cope with pain. I've been dealing with so much pain. You know, this GR, waiting for GR alone to make some people drink. They're dealing with somebody that don't love you back the way you want to be loved to be enough to make somebody want to take drugs. I ain't dealt with all of that on this side of town without as much as sipping a single drink. It's just it's the Holy Spirit, man. I tell y'all, even y'all hear me rambling about the Holy Spirit. And on top of that, I got mental health issues. Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't I try to escape it? And that's why I don't feel that I deserve to be mistreated by my friend. Because I see all of this in me. Like, you can't respect me when I'm displaying all of this. Now, how I perceive disrespect may not actually be disrespect. I want to make that clear. But the point is that if I perceive disrespect, it's like, damn, I'm one of the few people that you would know that would even be able to handle what I'm going through without doing a bunch of evil stuff. Most of the people you know when they're in my situation, maybe they take it a different way. But I get no respect as I perceive it. That's what I struggle with. As I got mad. Like, not only am I going through all this and dealing with it properly, but I'm trying to think about you. I'm trying to incorporate you, who don't care much about me apparently, into the equation unselfishly. And I don't get no love for that. I can't get a text back or whatever the case may be. And what goes through my head is no, because they not like you. They don't handle these things like that. That's what you in their life for, to show them how to do that. Show them how to incorporate others into their life so that they're more likable to others without needing everything that you need to make you comfortable. Because that's exactly what I'm able to do. I ain't in a comfortable space, but I'm still thinking about others or whatever, what have you, her in this particular case. So it's like, that's the purpose. If she was like that, she wouldn't need you for anything. If she was like that, you probably wouldn't be going toward her for the Lord's purposes, because she already has the trait for which you have. And that's another thing. It's like, you get frustrated with people, but you don't realize you're the example that's supposed to help them through that, for which makes you frustrated. That's what's coming. That's what the Spirit's kind of giving me now. And you are who's going to help that person start incorporating more traits that you have into their situation. And vice versa. Some of the stuff that you need to help you cope so that you're not so damn manic, you're going to take from that person. I don't think it's a one-way street and exalt yourself. You got a long way to go, buddy. That's what I tell myself. She knows how to turn people, turn her feelings off toward people, Like, nah, I'm not gonna accept that. My mother used to do that too. Like, nah, I'm not accepting that energy. That's energy that I don't need. So we're gonna just go toward positivity. She does that. Kate do that just like my mom used to do. Like, nah, I'm not even accepting that. I'm not reacting to that. I'm not responding to that. I'm not even emotionally towards you like I saw that, because it wasn't what I needed. And let me show you what I respect. And then she'll send me something motivational. And it's like, see, that's what I should be sending instead of my feelings, for which she don't give no damn about. But if I give her something that both motivates me and her, she'll pay attention to that. Talking about Kay. And all the stuff I'm talking about, how I feel bad, she can't receive that. Showing her what's going on in the world as it pertains to that Gaza stuff, she can't receive that. But if I send her some content that's motivational in nature, she'll receive it. That's frustrating to me, because I want to vent my problems or my frustrations, and I want a reaction to those frustrations. But that ain't the algorithm to her spirit. That's not what God created her to be able to receive. And probably for great reason, because I shouldn't be feeling those feelings either. Not as it pertains to that person. You start to understand people when you start really thinking about it. So it's like, all right, well, do I need to find somebody I can vent problems to, or do I need to learn how not to have these problems in the first place? And stay close to somebody who can continue to teach me how to motivate others by way of the example that they show me. It's real time thinking about it. And so that's, I guess, what the walk was for. To give me an understanding of how to better gain people's respect based on what it is they show you by example. Like, you can't get from me what you want from me, because I can't receive what it is that you give. But if you give to me what it is I give to you, we'll both feel better. I think that's what Kay's trying to teach me. I think that's what the Lord's trying to teach me by way of Kay. So as I walk down this street, I figured, man, I need to find something motivational and give it to her, rather than tell her how miserable she makes me feel when she doesn't respond to me complaining. How about I send her something that can make us both feel better? Look for motivationals like she says she benefits from, and the same type of content that she sends me. It might work. It might be a place that I can find myself in a good mindset from what it is that I learned there, and something that keep me from complaining about how we not communicating enough. Now, I still want to be able to communicate, but maybe not complaints. You know, they say the Lord wants you not to complain. He wants you to be grateful. We've been talking about learning how to be grateful and what to be grateful of so that you don't have to get something in order to be grateful. You're just grateful for the Lord. I think it's along those lines. You got to look for things that ain't going to have you complaining, even though you may have plenty to complain about. Why ain't you this? Why ain't you that? Why don't you this? Why don't you that? Because you're not sending something she can react to in a positive light. You're not giving her nothing that will motivate her to feel like responding to you. Now, if you send her something, we already said it. You already get it. I think I'm starting to get it. But I don't want to lose my friend just because I want to complain about how she's not responding to things that she can't respond to. No different than I don't try to go outside of my wheelhouse and try to work 14 hours a day. Maybe that would be the algorithm too. Like, why don't you work harder and you have more time to be away from her? It's like, but I don't want to work harder, and she don't want to communicate with you about your complaints about her. But you can meet her halfway because you do like the stuff she sends you. See what I'm saying? She can meet you halfway. Maybe she wants you to work more, but she can somehow like just let you be yourself and stay away from you at a certain point so that she don't have to complain about how you don't work enough. Just by example. She ain't never told me nothing like that, but I'm just saying. Like, we just got to stay in our wheelhouse and then learn the algorithm of the people we care about so we can be more useful to them rather than someone that they can't do nothing but ignore because all you giving her is something she can't do nothing with. The Lord put it in my heart to follow Gaza and all that was going on in that place. He didn't give that to her. What he gave her was a trauma that she needed to deal with. And me, as somebody who is very passionate about what's going on in Gaza, wants to warn her about what's going on. But if I trust God, I would know that's not my place. She gonna find out what she needs to find out without my lack of faith and saying, yo, you need to know this. Yeah, she needs to know this, and you can trust that God will teach her that. What you need to do is learn the lesson of stop giving her stuff that she can't do nothing with. Lesson learned. I'm telling you, these meditative spaces and these following the Spirit will always help you, man. It'll always help you. Lord told me to walk. I could have caught the bus and I'd have been home 7 minutes flat. I needed these 35, 40 minutes to an hour to come up with this. On camera, no less. But that's how it works, man. That's exactly how it works. You follow the Spirit, you talk. Or I talk. You know what I mean? That works for me, but maybe you have a different way of doing it. But that's how it works. You come up with your best ideas when you're in your most meditative spaces. Sometimes it's underwater. You shower, you know, a lot of times people come up with their best creative ideas. It's when you're in your most peaceful space. And for me, it's this. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do. Meditate on that a little further. Listen to this video and try to work that into my equation. Try to find things that my friend can use that can motivate us both, instead of complaining to her about what it is that doesn't work anyway. It just don't work. You could say, oh yeah, this is what my problem is, and why don't you do this, this, and this? Because if she were like that, you couldn't learn this. And you need to learn this so you can have this trait in other people's lives later on. Don't give them what they can't use. Give them what they show you they can use. Give them what they show you you can use with them. That pollo chicken quesadilla looks pretty dang good. But I'm not going to spend any money on that. I'm going to walk home and eat what I have. That's discipline against food that would otherwise be tasty that I have no business eating. This is how you keep your core intact. And you walk down the street past that place where you were going to eat food that you shouldn't eat and hold your core in tight as you walk. You see what I'm saying? Because the Spirit told me, as I told you on the previous video, to keep my gut held in as I walk so that I can strengthen my core. And that's how you do it. Walking right past the place that otherwise would have put fat on my body. And you handle negative energy no different, because it's all the enemy's work against you. Enemy wants me to complain. I fell into the enemy's trap yesterday. Want me to complain about stuff I had no confirmation of. Stuff that I had no business talking about. Things that were not really my business at all. If I really want to tell the truth about it, yeah, I need to, communicate or whatever, but Not as it pertains to complaining about people's choices in their life as they're trying to do whatever it is they do. It's just, entitlement I'm trying to work my way through, and keeping my mouth zipped about things that I should have been expressing as they were coming about. Don't let it build up. That was my problem, letting things build. I read something today that made a lot of sense, and I keep it with me from here on out. So you can't ruin your peace trying to keep the peace with others. You got to let them have what they need to have so you can keep your peace. Something along those lines. I don't think that's exactly how that went. But like, if you try to mold your way toward other people and what makes them happy, you will likely find yourself in a situation where you are unhappy. Sometimes it's okay to go halfway with people, but don't let them step all over you so that they can be comfortable, and to a point where you end up uncomfortable. There's a balance though. There's a balance, because you don't want to vent everything that bothers you, especially if you're the type of person that's bothered by every damn thing. You're going to push that person away from you. So balance is what I'm looking for. I didn't have it yesterday. I'm finding it now. And I'm thankful for that. As I walk past my famous market, I'm not going to buy any bread today. I don't think so. No, I think I'll wait till my EBT replenishes on the 7th. I think I got a full bread. I just opened another one yesterday, and the rest of my food is still intact. So I think I got like $30-something left on that EBT, and today is the 31st, so we got a long way to go. But I can make that stretch if I don't just stop every couple minutes and getting stuff I need just to replenish it before it's gone. Not necessarily. It ain't gonna hurt me to come back down here. I'll likely make that walk anyway. Plus, I think the bread will last until Friday, maybe not. Saturday, probably not. But my thought is, if I'm gonna have to keep my stuff under the stairs, then I probably don't want too many perishables. Which the bread tends to be, I guess. Once you put something in the fridge, water soaks into it by way of the cool. You likely open yourself up to mold depending on how hot it is that day. And if you leave it unattended and it's bread, so long as it has, I'm not certain about this, but so long as it has ventilation to some degree, probably shouldn't gain any mold, but maybe the mold comes from the air, so I'm not really sure. Find somebody smarter than me to tell you that, but as long as it's not refrigerated, if you have to keep it from being refrigerated, obviously it shouldn't be a problem. You keep it out, it ain't gonna be a problem. You put it in the fridge, take it out, it'll be a problem. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, man, trying to put myself in a position to gain the peace that I otherwise hadn't found. And I think I'm all right. And a lot of things that you don't really know if you're going to be all right, you got to give to the Lord. I don't know if my friend's going to never want to talk to me again. Well, that's on God to put it in her to want to talk to you again. I don't know if I ever want to talk to her again because of how things went. Well, the Lord will put it in your heart to forgive and forget, or get over it, or get over yourself, or just find different circumstances later on. I just be wanting the Lord to get me from one point to the next, though. That's my thing. It's like, if I ain't supposed to talk to this person for 4 days, get me to them 4 days without feeling so damn manic about it. That'd be my problem. You want me to forgive and forget, but it's hard to forgive and forget if I'm constantly manic about what it is that person did. Help me not be. And so when you follow the Spirit, you get exactly that. You get exactly that. So that's why I'm following that in leaving the house in the way that I did. And some certain good can come from that. From that of what I've made here, these content here. All the content that I've made today, I think has been pretty good. Probably more productive than yesterday's complaining content. You know, projecting and all of that. And at the end of the day, I want to tell myself, you're dealing with healing individuals. You're trying to heal and endure circumstances, and the person that you're thinking about is trying to heal and endure circumstances that were traumatic in nature. You're not going to get the best of either one of y'all. You're not. And that's speaking to anybody who's dealing with stuff in their own life like that, or people in their life like that. You can't expect that they're going to be able to be breezy in the sun like a Sunday afternoon when they just went through something about 4 months ago that really took them aback, that they'll never forget for the rest of their life. I'm asking her essentially to act like it's a breezy afternoon. Communicate like I want you to. give me the respect that I'm hopeful for, absorb all of the stuff that I want you to absorb. Maybe she'd be able to do that if she hadn't gone through nothing, maybe not. But the fact that she's in a sensitive space, it doesn't work, man. That don't work. When you went through trauma, you handled it your own way. Everybody handles trauma their own way. Sometimes people can't receive everything you give them like it's a breezy Sunday day. Especially if they done been through something and they're not used to that type of thing they went through. They're not going to be able, they're not going to have it. They ain't going to have it to give you. And you may be asking for it, but their mind is like, nah. And I know that's what she's going through. And I knew it to a degree yesterday, but I kind of forgotten about it because I was too caught up in the enemy attack on my spirit and how I was reacting poorly to that. But you and her got to get through this era of your life. That's what I'm telling myself in regards to my friend. You and her got to get through that. Y'all went through something, both of y'all. You're going through something, both of y'all. It don't work like that. But that you get through it, you'll be stronger as friends later on, or whatever the heck you gonna be. But until you respect, absolutely respect, that she went through something for real, and that you're going through something for real, and that neither one of y'all probably giving each other what they need because of it, then you know that the Lord will give you that strength so long as you just keep holding on. Don't let the friendship falter because trauma's been in place. Don't let the friendship falter because hard times are in place. That's what God's for. You think you don't love her for a reason? The Lord put it in your heart, told you a million times you love her for a reason. It ain't just because this, that, and whatever little low frequency nonsense. No, God has a plan in your lives. Now, it may not be what you have planned or what you would prefer, but it ain't for you to throw it all away just because she ain't reacting positively to you having a not so sunshiny day. These are the type of things we just got to be real about when we're in the spirit. I'm not just dealing with immaturity as it pertains to her. She went through something. And she's not just dealing with somebody who's normally like this. I'm going through something too. And so I think that's an important thing to say in this camera for me to listen back to. She's going through something. And you're going to help her through it by not asking too much of her going forward. By not being manic all in her phone just because you're having a hard time. Have a hard time and tell her you're having a hard time. But let it be at that. That's it. That's all. I'm having a hard time. Not venting into her phone a bunch of stuff that she can't use. Just like she ain't going to vent into your phone a bunch of stuff that you can't use or whatever the equivalent would be. For her, it's staying away from me, unfortunately. That's hard enough. That's what I end up triggering out for. Or her going out. It's another thing, like when I was 27 or 25 years old, my ex-girlfriend used to try to make my night miserable every time I go out to the club for obvious reasons, because she wasn't going with me. So it was like every time, an hour before I need to go to the club, of course I'm communicating with my girlfriend. I'm faithful too, I ain't doing nothing. I go to them clubs, I don't even want to talk to nobody. It had nothing to do with her. I was anxious. I had anxiety. I was never going to talk to anybody. But I wanted to go to the club because that's what 25-year-olds did in my mind. We're going to drink, we're going to smoke. We can go to the club, listen to some music, look at the girls I'm not talking to, have awkward moments with those girls and come home. That's what it was. God's honest truth. And I couldn't understand why my ex didn't just let me do that without her complaining to a point where my night would be bad by the time I got in the car with my friends. Can't tell you how many times my boy T had to cool me off because I had been arguing the whole hour before he picked me up to go to the club. It was like clockwork. And now it gets to a point where I'm in a space where I kind of feel that way about Kay when she went out and did whatever she was doing a couple days ago. It's like, not to that degree, but it was like, you gotta let people be themselves at that age. If she's 28 years old, 27 years old, that's like exactly the time you should be going to bars and whatever you want to do. Like, would it be great if you trusted her a bit better so that you wouldn't have to think those thoughts? Or would it be great if y'all had a real defined relationship so that when she does that, you could have something to say about it maybe? I don't know if you even do, but... Or would invite you with her. She's going to go to a damn bar with a 39-year-old. Let's just be real. I'm too old to be in places like that. I don't look it, but my mindset, I'm not going to keep the vibes going. So it's like... And she didn't even want to be there from what I understand. just to speak of the specifics of the circumstance. But it's like the point was I was tripping. Just like my ex. And the funny thing is I thought of that too, but I was like, I don't care. Like, I see where my ex is coming from. That was my mindset. Like, now I get it. But not really. Not when you consider just the peace that has to come with just letting people be themselves. You trust people, you're going to get more out of them than you don't. And if you're around somebody you don't trust to that degree, then you shouldn't be with them or around them or whatever the case may be. And you think they that much of a slut or whatever the case may be, to where you can't not trip when they go to a bar or whatever, or go out with some friends, then my friend, you probably chose the wrong person. That's the deeper understanding. If you don't trust them to that degree to where you think they're going to slut out that bad, then friend, you probably should be looking for a different person to speak with. But understand, you're going to probably carry that trait that you have to the next person, whether they are someone that's trustworthy or not. You're probably going to carry that baggage. So let that go. It's food for thought, man. So a lot of us are very possessive by nature because we've been hurt or because we used to be people that wasn't trustworthy in them situations. That's how it usually go. You ready for that karma to come back and get you. If you don't trust the next person gonna do something right, because your ass know you deserve what, you know. That's how it goes for a lot of folks. They think people like them at their worst. Fathers. They don't want their daughters to go out with sons or go out with that little boy there, because you know how much of a player you was back in the day, and you know how it would have went if you would have went with her. So you projecting your bad tendencies onto that little boy. He ain't like that, or maybe he is. But the point is, you think he is, and that's the problem. Want to bring a shotgun to the homecoming pictures, like you, because you was a terror to that degree. Nah, that kid ain't like that. So these are the type of things I'm glad I understand at this age. So if I do have kids, maybe I can carry this content forward and study it a little better as I think about it walking down the street back in the day, for which this is. It's my present, but it's the past for all of y'all. At any rate, trust God. You ain't got to trust others. You ain't got to trust me. Trust God. Especially if he done already shown you that he put somebody in your life in a certain special alignment. Not to say that that's that situation, but I'm talking about my friend Kay. There's been a special alignment aligned with me knowing this person. It ain't just me meeting her and that's it. God has been showing me in so many different coincidental ways that he wants us to be in communication with one another to whatever degree. He has told me in many different meditative spaces that I'm right for loving this person to the degree that I do. And then when stuff like this comes and tests me, it's like, well, all of that is out the window. Now I'm questioning God about what's already confirmed. That's what I've been doing. But the enemy attacks, and he'll make your mind kind of cloudy about all of that. All you see is what your mind is telling you. All you see is you go to the Spirit and the Lord tests you, and all of a sudden you don't know how to act. That's me. That's me. Trust God. You ain't got to trust her. Trust God. If God tell you to back off, then you back off. God tell you to go forward, go forward. But if you're in the spirit, like we've been talking about in all these dang videos, then you ain't got to worry about all that. It's not meant for you to worry about all that. The enemy wants you to worry about all that for sure. He'll have you blow the whole house up, figuratively. You know what I mean? And just trying to cope with stuff like this. You ain't got to be that serious. Go to God, see what he wants you to do. It was like we were talking about in the video yesterday. Lay down your foundation of appreciation and then ask him for the way forward from within that appreciation to do whatever it is that's necessary to cope with your circumstance. That's how you handle it. I'm telling you, even the little kids ain't dressed up today. It's so different, man. I'm walking past an elementary school, another school, and the kids ain't dressed up like that. It's like it's not even Halloween. Maybe we're really getting away from Halloween slowly but surely as a society. I'm genuinely thinking that might be the case as I'm walking around the streets and seeing hardly nobody out here dressed up. Hardly nobody. But you know, it's a thing, man. I don't want to turn this into a dark conversation because the video is going so well, but just looking at what's going on in Gaza, you see kids, they ain't doing so well. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of bad going on out there as it pertains to children. If I had a child, I probably wouldn't really feel all that festive. And I'll tell you this, if I had a child, I probably wouldn't want to be subjecting myself to so much of what it is I have. Some of this stuff I see made me way too paranoid if I had a kid of my own. I think that's another reason why I didn't look away. It's because I'm afforded the opportunity to not be so traumatized because I don't have my own child. Yeah, I'm traumatized, but not the same way a parent would. If I had 2 and 3 little ones walking around, and then I'm seeing this in my phone, people they age and how that's going for them. I understand a lot of parents who can't, they cannot, and they will not. And it's probably not meant for them too, because if they had to think like that or deal with that in a certain way, they'd probably be keeping their kid from going to school and all kinds of other stuff that comes with that. You know, riding around with a gun, that type of thing, whatever the case may be, whatever paranoid to your level would be. But my phone just told me we got 15%. I think this was a very productive walk, man. I think this was a very productive walk. I think the Lord is pleased with me for following the Spirit because it gave me some gems in this particular video, and I knew it would. I learned to trust God to that degree. I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm going to get the right set of circumstances when I follow it properly. It always works out that way. So, yeah, man, that's pretty much what I got to say. I got to charge this thing whether I like it or not. It might not even make it to the hotel room, even though I'm only a block away. But I think everything's going to be okay as it pertains to myself and my friend Kay. I just need to respect what her threshold is as it pertains to what she's going through. And I got to respect my own as it pertains to what it is I can put up with, truthfully. And let the Lord sort out the rest. I would like her to communicate better, but she's only going to do that on her own time. And I can't expedite that time just because I'm in a level of maturity 11, 12 years older than her. And it just doesn't work that way. But if I do throw the friendship away without actually seeing what the Lord had for me, whatever I end up with will likely not be what it is that He intended, although He can work from within those circumstances just the same. At the end of the day, that's what it is I understand it to be. And we'll see how my mind works as we continue to go forward with circumstances. But to just trust that I'm going through something and she's going through something, and we're not always going to give each other what we need while we're going through this. So that's what I got to say. BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.